culture and purpose are inextricably linked. The purpose, the Dharma, that we are here to live, this purposeful way of living, is absolutely about cultivating an appropriate culture for ourselves. When we know what our Dharma is, when we're so crystal clear on that and it's embodied, it doesn't become a chore to cultivate culture, to develop our own culture, to create our own way of life, an appropriate lifestyle. It doesn't become like, something to do on the to-do list. It's just becomes such a natural way of who we are. For many years now, those of us that have worked in the community development sector, the arts sector, and the public sector have spoken about culture being important and being central to health and well-being, the evolution of health and well-being. And it has become, thankfully, accepted and recognized that culture and health and well-being are inextricably linked. But I would go much further than that and say that culture is absolutely essential for human growth and evolution and consciousness growth and evolution. And I'm not just talking about culture in the sense of the arts, because there's often this association of culture with heritage and ethnicity. And for me, that is a limited understanding of what culture is. I'm talking about culture in its broader sense of the role and the function that it plays in human development and in this earth realm. I'm talking about culture as a concept, as a way of being, as a central aspect of what it is to be human. And so not talking specifically about our cultural, our individualized, nation-limited cultural beliefs, religious-limited cultural beliefs or principles. I'm talking about the sense of our culture as human beings, how it is that we are as human beings, how we organize ourselves, how we think, how we express ourselves, how we be, how we practice what we do, how we exercise, how we simply are as a human race. And the way that human culture as a homogeneous generalization is at this point in planet Earth, I think many would argue this mass culture has become very capitalist. Very there's this idea of like a homogenization that's spoken about a lot in the academic realms, this westernization, this imperialization, this colonization of parts of the world to a particular maybe Eurocentric way of being, and that is spreading all around the planet. And yes, of course, that is absolutely not the case in all countries in the world. All countries are not becoming westernized or not becoming Eurocentric. However, this idea that the earth culture is becoming more homogeneous is something that I find very fascinating and very interesting. And I talk to sometimes about people in the kind of the spiritual realm, health and well-being realm, and just kind of generally out there in the world. And we have these conversations about like, where are we headed as a humanity? And, there's a really good big school of people that believe that we're really heading into the apocalypse, that, that we're just moving as a mass population on planet Earth more and more into the darkness, more and more towards consumerism and capitalism. We're destroying the planet more. We are polluting the planet more. We're becoming extinct. Insects are extincting en masse, which a lot of people believe is, of course, I can understand that, the start of the decline of the human race and of the planet and nature. There's that whole kind of school. And then there's this other camp of people that really believe that critical mass is gaining with regards to people, communities who are starting to adopt a different way of life, a different culture, one that is based more around ecosystems, living systems, community, putting different emphasis on a different set of values and principles, which is more aligned to sustainability, it's more aligned to the highest and greatest good, it's more aligned to the kind of natural principles that are aligned to how we live on this earth in a sustainable and in a good way, in a way that doesn't cause harm to one another and to the planet. And both are true. Okay, we can see that. We can't say that that just one is true and the other is not true. Both are happening simultaneously. It's all a matter of perspective. It's a matter of where you self are at and what you choose to see and how you choose to hold those truths in your own being. But one thing is absolutely for sure, that our culture as an Earth species is absolutely crucial and vital to the development of our planet. So this is really about what is the type of culture. Really, we need to take a step back and we need to ask ourselves, what kind of culture am I cultivating within myself, within my family? What culture am I choosing to, or what subcultures am I choosing to involve myself into? What set of beliefs and principles am I aligning myself to? Am I developing my own culture of journeying through life, developing my own sovereignty, learning about my own inner world, learning to engage with myself in a deeper way, engage with nature around me in a different way? Am I taking steps to learn about what it's going to take for me to be well and to thrive, how to put myself as the priority of my life, and how to nurture and nourish a lifestyle that really suits me and what I need first and foremost, so that I can serve my family and serve my community and serve humanity? Is that the culture? Is that the kind of culture that I want to cultivate? Or am I still stuck in an old culture of serving others, being a cog in the system, being productive, making sure that I appear a certain way, that I please others, I overextend to others, that I work super hard and burn out so that I can show and prove that I really have put the time in, that I'm really worth and deserved of a job, of a promotion, of a something else. This old culture and this old way of being, which is frankly based on a very old system of the earth, which is it's we're moving out of. I wanted to say there a moment ago, it's becoming extinct, and I guess that's a natural thing, that maybe the mind jumped in and wanted to change that and soften that. And maybe that is part of the truth, that it is becoming extinct. Maybe in some places it is. That old way of being is absolutely becoming extinct, because in the parallel communities that you and I are creating in our communities, in our families, in other places where we buy land and we cultivate it, or we migrate to other parts of the world like Mexico and Portugal and Bali, and places where there are an abundance of us, and we can have these conversations and we can live in this way. It's like, we're really taking the steps to live an appropriate lifestyle, to tend to ourselves, and in doing that, slowly start to step out of this old paradigm, step out of an old matrix, a matrix that we no longer choose to be a part of, we no longer consent to, no longer brings us joy or enlivens us, that we have been able to see the light and see clearly what these systems serve. And that it's not wrong necessarily, and it's not evil necessarily, but it's just that we choose for something different. We choose something more evolutionary, more enlivening, more joyous, more blissful, that gives us more the experience of life that we want to have. Because some people are here to have that experience of life. They are absolutely here to experience that. And it's okay. Like these universes, these timelines can all exist here at the same time. And we can journey through it, as long as we don't take it too seriously, we don't let it affect us too much. And I'm saying that to myself because I absolutely have parts of me that still take it way too seriously, that still absolutely are impacted by the play, by the theatre, and of course by real acts of violence and war and distressing things that as a human I would be impacted. But there's this gray middle area that we spend a lot of time like wasting our time and energy judging and commenting on and also being stuck, like feeling stuck in these cycles and loops, like trying to detach from this old world. I think it's really important that we take active steps to just pause and ask ourselves, what is the culture that I am here to develop for myself? What is my personal culture that I really want to grow and develop into? And then what is the broader culture of the life that I want to live, of the people that are around me? Because there are so many incredible subcultures, there are so many incredible lineages, heritages, genres of art and music, and all of these things that I would say are subcultures. But really, first and foremost, what is our purpose here on this earth realm? For me, culture and purpose are inextricably linked. The purpose, the Dharma, that we are here to live this purposeful way of living is absolutely about cultivating an appropriate culture for ourselves. When we know what our Dharma is, when we're so crystal clear on that and it's embodied, it doesn't become a chore to cultivate culture, to develop our own culture, to create our own way of life, an appropriate lifestyle. It doesn't become like, something to do on the to-do list. It's just becomes such a natural way of who we are. It actually becomes one of the things that magnetizes people towards. They love seeing how we are, how we hold ourselves, like how we organize our lives. I love coming to our homes and seeing how things are set up and the routine that we have. We have music on. They see the culture and it inspires them. They see the culture of our community, how we are together, how we laugh and joke, how we journey through issues and sticking points together. And that becomes the cultural legacy that we leave behind, that we pass on through community to the next generation. I don't profess to really know what the ultimate purpose or Dharma, purpose of life, our raison d'être, our reason of being is here. But what I'm pretty sure I do know is that our Dharma, our purpose is right here in this moment. It's not out there somewhere we need to go searching for it. It helps to travel. It helps to read books. It helps to engage with others and learn about other subcultures. But really, it is really, really here. And we can go digging and we can go searching inside. And also, it is right here in this layer, in almost like in this superficial layer. It's not a superficial thing, but doesn't even have to be that deep. It's right here. Our purpose, our Dharma is literally present in this energy around you right now. What needs to get out of the way and relax back to let you lead and put your finger on it, to know it in this moment?